Okay, I wanted to help you out a little bit with this covalent worksheet so that you could kind of see how a few of them work. I don't want to do the whole thing because I want to leave you some to practice with. But let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of them. Maybe. Let's go ahead and look at number 6. So the first thing you do with a covalent is figure out what's going to be your central atom. And that would be whichever atom, when you spread out its valence electrons, has the most available places to bond onto it. In other words, how many single electrons it has, but spread them all out. I'll show you what I mean. So nitrogen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hydrogen has only 1 electron, and it only can have 2. So it has 1 bonding site because there's a place where there's 1 place to bond onto right there where there's 1 single electron. Nitrogen has 1, 2, 3 places to bond onto. So nitrogen is your central atom for more than one reason. You never use hydrogen as a central atom just because it doesn't need that many electrons. So I'm going to put nitrogen in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to start to bond on hydrogens. 1 can go here. 1 can go here. And 1 can go here. Every element except for hydrogen needs to have 8 electrons around it. And in this situation, nitrogen does because it gets to count hydrogen's electrons as well. And hydrogen must have 2. And again, it does because it gets to count the nitrogen's dots. So everything is stable there. So that's how you would do number 6. Minus the circles. I just used those to show you what was going on. All right, let's take a look at number 7. Again, we're not going to use hydrogen as a central atom, which means carbon's our central atom. What we're going to do here is we're going to hook on another carbon. And let's say we'll hook on another carbon. It doesn't matter where. Maybe here. That was an inconvenient spot, but yeah. Let me erase that and go back just because I need to make it smaller so you can see it. Okay, back to where I was. 1, 2, 3, 4. And your carbons, they're going to share electrons, so they need to be a different color. But if it doesn't share with the other carbon, then it doesn't have to. So like if I put my other carbon way down here, I can go ahead and make it the same color because it's not sharing with the one on the other end. So the 2 greens don't share electrons. So then that's okay. Then that's all I can put in there. So now I just start adding on hydrogens and hope for the best, I guess. Should work out. But just to hook on a hydrogen anywhere you see a single electron. And we have 8 of them to hook on there. So that should do it. So that's how you do some of those. So I'm not going to do all the rest of the ones on the front, but number 8, just make sure you check to see which one's your central atom and then put everything else around. And let me know if you have any trouble with those. Okay, and then this is the back side of the same paper. So let me show you a couple of those. We'll just try number 12, I guess. You have 4 hydrogens and 2 carbons. They could have just said C2H4, but I don't know. I think they're trying to give you a hint as to what the dot diagram looks like. And it says up here that these are going to have multiple bonds, so be prepared to share more than just 2 electrons. Okay, so I'm going to hook my carbons together. Sorry, I left my Apple Pencil at school, so this is kind of sloppy. And then I put on the hydrogens, and I always just kind of go for symmetry. It doesn't always work, but so I'm going to use 2 hydrogens on one side and 2 hydrogens on the other side. And see how it works out here. Once you have everything in there that it told me to put in there, you check to see if each one is stable. In other words, if each one has 8. So hydrogen's good because it has its 2. Each carbon has 7, which is not good. So that is when we take them off the outside and move them into the middle. So now we have 4 in the middle, and then they each have 4 when they share with hydrogen. So that one's complete. So just put everything in, and then if you need to, start pushing them to the middle. Remember, hydrogen is never going to double bond because it can only ever share 2. So that's how you do those. Now let's look at the one where you have to deal with charges. Okay, I chose this one because it's a little more difficult, so I thought it might be helpful to start with it. Again, there are many different possibilities for this one. My goal is to get you to show me that each one can have 8 without just breaking any, dot rules. So I'm just going to start with sulfur, and the only reason I started with sulfur is because there's only one of it. That doesn't mean I'm right, but a lot of times that helps, or that works, so that's what I'm going to do. So sulfur brings 6. So I'm just going to spread those out as much as possible. And then I'm just going to switch colors and start adding on oxygens and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Again, if they're not sharing, they can be the same color. If they share with each other, they have to be a different color. Now, here's my problem. I really don't have any place else to add to. So you've got a lot of different options. You can go with putting the other O's in with the sulfur bringing both dots. Or you can make it into more of a chain instead of around a central atom. So add another O down here. And add another O down here. Again, there are numerous ways you could do this. I could add all the O's straight out from the sulfur and just make one big long chain. There's no one right way for right now to do that. There is a way that is more likely to happen, but they can have more than one structure and or possibility for their structure. That truly does happen. Like 75% of the time they're one thing and 25% they're another. So right now I'm just trying to make sure you can put the dots in. Anyway, I have everything in there now, and everything's good except for the pink O's. And they need one more, and that's where this -2 comes in. You give the pink, I can't get this one to go because I have it so low down there, but it won't go in there. Shoot. All right, I think I fixed it. So you could add in 2 extra dots because it has a -2 charge on it. So the whole molecule, the whole thing altogether has a -2. So you add in 2 electrons. And where those 2 electrons came from is another atom that is, somewhere close that we're just not dealing with right now. So they don't come from outer space. They come from another atom willing to give up electrons. But we didn't show that part right now. And then because we added electrons in, we have to do brackets and a charge around the whole thing. And on the other problem, number 13, you have a positive. So then you take electrons out. And you could just erase them or draw an arrow showing they go out and put in what you need to put in. Just don't ever take more than a dot out. Like you can't leave a whole hydrogen off. All the hydrogens have to go in. So see if that helps with this worksheet. I left you a few to try so that you can practice. And I will talk to you soon. Good luck.